In this video, you will learn how to use CSS to round the corners of elements on your screen. Here you can see a web page that has a box on it for my navigation, but the box is pretty square, let's just say. So let's add some rounded corners to make the corners look a little nicer on the screen. Here I've got the CSS for my nav bar. As you can see, down here is my HTML, and I'm going to add in a border radius to this element. It used to be that you had to use browser-specific prefixes as well for the border radius, but this is widely supported in every modern browser, including Internet Explorer, so you don't need to use anything but the border radius property. And we're going to make the border radius 20 pixels. And that's all I need to do. And then I'm going to hit save and reload my browser. And as you can see, the corners are now rounded. That looks nice, but now it doesn't seem to be attached to the header section. So let's make these two corners at the top left and the top right, disconnected, and maybe even remove the top border. So I'm going to switch to my HTML. And the first thing I'm going to do is remove that top border. So I'm going to say border top none. And I'm doing this with the border style right above it, defining all four borders, and then I'm using the CSS cascade to say, yeah, but remove the top one, make it none. And then for the border radius, I'm going to need to add two different style properties. Instead of the border radius property, I'm just going to style the bottom two border radiuses. So I'm going to style the border bottom right radius and the border bottom left radius. And I'm going to leave them both at 20 pixels, the same as before. So I'm going to save my document, reload my web page, and as you can see, now it's attached more to the top because there's no top border, and the border radiuses are on the bottom. But I'm still not really happy with those curves. They're a little too even. So let's see how we can adjust the border radius to make them a little bit different so that they're not just perfect circles everywhere. What most people don't realize is that the border radius and its child properties, bottom right, top right, top left, etc., are all two properties. You got the height and the width of the radius. It's not exactly the height and the width, but you have two properties. You can define how far up and down the curve should go and how far left and right the curve should go. So I'm going to change this to 10px, 20px, separated by a space. So I'm going to say save, and then again reload my browser. And now the border, it's still curved a little bit. It's a little bit tighter on the bottom because of that 10px. Obviously, you can fiddle around with it to get the exact shape of your curves that you want that works best for your website. And you just do that by changing those styles. You can also obviously add things like the border top right radius and the border top left radius and change those as well if you don't want them to be square like they are here. And that's how you use the CSS3 property border radius to round the corners of elements in your document.